Hey friends, I have been promising you guys for a couple of weeks a tour of our addition. So a little background story is that we were traveling full-time in our RV, and to be totally honest, I thought we were going to be living that way for a couple of years. Even knowing that we were going to be adding a baby to our family, I just thought we were going to be living in our RV. Well, Philip had some discernment and felt that we really just needed to find a home base. And we found this home and just fell in love. We fell in love with the area, with the land, and we were just super excited. Now we moved in and it was perfect. It was bigger than anything we've ever lived in. We used to live in a condo. We downsized to an RV, and so being in a house was massive. Like, we just were overwhelmed with the amount of space. And then through the year, we had family living with us, friends staying with us. Last Christmas, we hosted 13 family members under one roof, and it was just a very tight squeeze in our living room. So the idea of adding space sounded great with how much we want to host, how much we are hosting Bible studies, and just want an environment for people to feel very comfortable. There were actually two other reasons that made us take the jump to do an addition. And first was when we first moved in, the major tornado hit Nashville. So I wouldn't call Nashville like a hot spot for tornadoes, but that massive tornado really hit home to everybody that we met in the area, and including ourselves, that our safest spot was actually next to our washer and dryer in the middle of our house. Not really a storm shelter by any means. And even the storm shelter that we have built, it's not officially a storm shelter, but it is hands down better than anything that we have had. So that was something we were looking into, and we saw the cost of how much it was going to be to put in a storm shelter that bolts into your garage. And those were about like $5,000 that we were looking at. They were higher. How much were they?
5 to 10.
So 5 to 10,000 to add a storm shelter. We had that in the back of our mind when we were building our addition. And then the second major reason is we have been learning a lot, especially when we were living full-time in the RV, that Philip, we have shared with you this year that from a young age, he has known that he has ADHD. And sometimes we talk about that I sometimes have some tendencies, and I'm not sure. I was never officially diagnosed or anything like that. But the office space, which we were first so thrilled with the office space that we were going to get in this house, because living in an RV full time with a tiny little kind of corner that was not really a designated area, we thought the office was going to be amazing and awesome. Well, when we moved in, we realized our kids getting bigger and louder and more excited, and being off the two main areas of the kitchen and the living room, the office that we have right now is just very much in the busy hustle bustle part of the house. So we were just looking for an office space for Philip to be a little bit more separated from the busyness of the girls and I. So we will enter in through what used to be the window to our living area. And our big thing of when we bought this property is we were so excited to feel the land, to feel outside, to enjoy the property. And so we were sitting in our living room and we had this one window that looked kind of straight out. So our big dream and our passion was to be able to feel like we were outside. So I feel we very much accomplished that with the amount of windows that we added. We are now calling this space our sunroom. It is a 4-season room. We originally started with having the idea of making a screened-in porch. What we are standing on right now is a few feet higher than our little half-round patio that used to exist back here. And it wasn't to code. The water backtracked into the house. It didn't slope away like a patio ought to, and it didn't have railing. So we knew we were gonna be bringing in a baby that was gonna be toddling around. So we knew we were gonna have to do something with it. And we decided first that we were gonna do a screened-in porch, and this is what it grew into. It was a 4-season room that we could add equity and square footage to our home, and a place that we could enjoy all year round. Okay, let's just start by opening up the doors to enjoy some fresh air outside. No more bugs because the summer is over. And from the room that I will show you and show you all the details that we have done, but this is the outdoor space. We just desire to be outside as much as possible, and so moving off of our sunroom, we added our deck that gives us the view of the property that we fell in love with. We drove down here and we just felt like this is home. This is where we would love to be, and we are very blessed that we were able to purchase this property for less than we sold our condo for, which is just wild. It was definitely a big blessing to be able to move out of a very populated area to go more into the country to follow our dreams. We've been dreaming of homesteading for 10 years, and we are just now starting, and we're enjoying some outdoor area that we have been able to add on. So I'm trying to think of a couple of questions that I might get asked. The big one is the railing. We have had some friends over that have asked us, oh, where did you get the railing? And this was actually made from some 4x4 inch cattle panels or hog panels and spray painted black and put into a frame. So we didn't want to impede on any of the view, and the common thing that people do are those cable wires, and it allows you to have this beautiful view into your property. Well, those are very, very expensive. It was going to add thousands of dollars to put railings up on our deck, and doing it this way, I feel like it stuck with my more farmhouse design that I love, and I'm falling more and more in love with that style. Second, it was no more addition to the budget, which was amazing and incredible. And you trying to jump? I saw that jump.
Cassidy, do you want to jump? Jump? Jump!
Wow!
Jump?
Let's move back inside, even though this is probably our favorite spot of the entire house, is just to be outside. Moving back inside, we got to add so much, and I feel just so blessed and so thankful, and I will show you the different things that we got to add. So moving actually back, when we first walked through, we actually kind of designed this space ourselves. We didn't end up getting an architect like our parents might have suggested, but we just kind of went for it and just called it what it was. And so this kind of transitioned from our outdoor wall to where the roof line was, to adding this space. So seaming the two buildings together was a little bit of a brain teaser of how we were going to have the entryway, hallway. We wanted the vision from the front door to be able to see all the way back to the outside. And so we ended up doing a nice big opening, but instead of having this be more room on both sides, we ended up cutting this in and adding in a closet. And one of my favorite features is the pantry. And so in our closet, we just have a nice big space. And when we don't have tools and paint and all of the things that are kind of thrown in here for now, it will be lots of blankets. I'm not even kidding. We have people come and stay, and we use so much bedding, and we can host some of our friends of 8 that just get put in all different spaces. Everyone gets blankets, so we love to hold on to a bunch of blankets. So we're just super excited to have even as simple as a closet that could be our recreational center, our fellowship center that has all the blankets we need. And then games. We have our games spread out actually around the RV and upstairs, and all of them are going to be coming back here because we actually really love just being together playing games. I feel like this is such a, if you can incorporate games into your family living, I just feel like those are the memories that that we hold on to. And I'm curious, do you guys do a lot of games with your family? And if you don't do games, is there something else that you do together that you hold on to as memories? You either have memories from when you were a kid or that you're doing with your family now. For example, our back corner is filled of Christmas puzzles. We love doing puzzles, but specifically we like Christmas puzzles, and they come out every Christmas. They sit on a table that just people gather around and can fellowship and just be doing a puzzle together. Okay, for those of you who have been with us for more than a year, you will remember that this used to be our exterior door that came from our kitchen area, and we went down a couple of steps to the half-rounded patio area. Well, it's no longer a door to outside, it's the other side of that hallway. And in here is our appliance pantry. We were able to put in an outlet in here so we can put in our coffee station, our air fryer, our blender, our microwave, and so everything can just kind of be in here. Philip's actually really excited. We didn't have a microwave in the RV, and I was thinking of not adding the microwave. My dad ended up bringing us one from my aunt, and it lived in our garage for a year. And so now we do have a microwave. It's just tucked over here in the corner. And then we have other things of other appliances, our fruit baskets that used to sit on the counter. All of this used to sit on the counter. We used to have our eggs on the counter and our fruit on the counter and our coffee on the counter, and just everything just felt very cluttered. And I would love to get to the point where everything just feels very minimalistic. I was mentioning about the ADHD earlier in this video, and we're just realizing that we need to become more minimalistic, not just for we like that design or that look. It's more of a help for the clutter in your brain that's trying to focus on where you're supposed to be going and what you're doing. And so much clutter just makes it a lot more difficult. So having a home that's kind of tucked away and not out on the counter is really, really nice and really helpful. And I love this pantry. It's seriously one of my favorite features. I love it so much. Okay, so when you first walk in, we decided to put a little buffet here. It has been really helpful to lay out a bunch of food when we have everyone's joining in the dining room area. And I'm imagining like maybe a big mirror over top and a couple of lamps on either side. We haven't decorated, and to be honest, we moved into the RV, and the whole time we lived into the RV, we said we need to do a tour. Did we ever do it? No, because I kept thinking, oh, once we finish all the projects, then we'll give the tour. Well, this place is actually not done yet. It's close, it's very close. So we're just doing the tour, and as you follow along on our vlog, you'll just kind of see how things kind of come together. But I wanted to kind of give you a spatial understanding of where everything is and where everything's at. That used to be where we were sitting in our living room for all the time that we've lived here, and now we're moving into this very bright and cheery space out here. So another little nook, because we added that pantry, we partly also added the pantry of just joining the two buildings together. There was kind of like a little weird angle on the wall, and so we were able to kind of cover up that not perfect lineup of the wall by adding this cornered pantry. And then with that, we were able to add a little miniature mudroom. So we're gonna be out in the garden a lot, especially in the summer, and having all of we like to throw on some aprons to cover up our clothes and our boots, and just have a dropping area here instead of having everything just kind of thrown on the floor, having a place to just hook everything up. I just think it's really cute. Oh, and Philip fell in love with this sign. We actually went to Littlest Cafe. It's a cafe in Nashville, and they have a little shop, and Philip just loved this sign, and I totally agree with him that it just very much fits our home. In this house, we laugh a lot, we count our blessings, we forgive quickly, we make mistakes, we make memories, we love deeply, we cherish friends, we say I'm sorry, we live life. It's very sweet. I love it. Okay, so moving in, when you first walk in through this room, you see this just great spot for a communal dining table. Right now, this is the table that was upstairs in the playroom. We got this on Facebook Marketplace for $200, including the chairs. Underneath, I saw it's a really pretty wood color, so I actually might strip off the top. Philip's shaking his head, no. I might strip off the top and then paint the legs and the chairs dark green. You let me know in the comments below what you think. Either hold it out and just keep it as it is until Philip has time to build me a farm table, which, to be honest, there's so many projects going around, I don't think that'll happen for years. But I just think it would be a really pretty, it's about like this wood color on top, and then it could be nice, like a green. And then if I want to put it back up in the kids' room, I learned from my girlfriend, I just love her mentality on this of like, well, if you paint them green and then you want to put them back in the kids' room and you want them back this color, just paint them back this color and just go for it. And I just need that kind of person in my life to just push me to say, just do it. If you want them green, paint them green. If you don't like it, paint them back. No big deal. I need a little bit of that push in my life. Otherwise I'm like, do I just leave it? I'm not sure. I don't know. And then going up, Philip found this light at Home Depot. I'm glad he said, let's just buy it and let's just go for it. Because I could have spent hours and hours researching a light, and we just saw this at Home Depot, and I think I really like it. We just have just kind of simple black accents, which is very popular right now.
Why do you have 12 million pepper plants in your family?
Okay, so from coming from the dining table over into the corner, this is a perfect little miniature greenhouse area. And when we are starting plants, I bet you this entire area is going to be just filled with plant starts. So it might impede our view a little bit. But right now we moved a table, another coffee table we got on Facebook Marketplace. This was $20. And we were able to bring our pepper plants in from outside. And so we might be able to have these all year round. These are all of our hot peppers, and I didn't want to put them in our garden so that way I could collect the seeds and not risk having my bell peppers become spicy for future plants. But this is actually really cool and really nice. Okay, and then leaving the dining room and coming into the communal living sitting area, family room. I just really love the idea of an open floor plan, and I know a lot of modern homes are kind of being built that way, but this home is 10 years old and it didn't necessarily have a specifically open floor plan. So this room really allows us to have that feel. Don't put it on. I gotta put my shoe on. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right, moving on. From the living room, Cassidy wants to tell you. Okay, so moving in the sitting area, we just brought this out from our room. This is my great-grandma's chair. Dad, am I correct in that? So it's our family heirloom. Philip reupholstered the seat. I just really, really like it out here. I would love to start decorating with a little bit more of like kind of like a farmhouse historic kind of feel. It just, hi. So in here, we just are loving this view. And so this sitting area, we still get the beautiful view. So for 2 reasons, we're gonna get light at certain times of the day, plus because the cold and just trying to keep some of the heat in, we're probably gonna add in some curtains. If you guys have any recommendations or thoughts on that, I would love them. But we're gonna add some high curtain bars. Okay, Cassie, do you think I can get through the rest of this? You know, hold it, okay. All right, so the furniture we have in here, we got on Facebook Marketplace. I got the chair and this was actually a sectional that I switched to over here, but the couch and the chair / sectional, we got on Facebook Marketplace for $350. I actually furnished this whole house. We didn't have furniture to furnish a house. We had a small condo and we got rid of most of our things. And so I was able to furnish this house for a few $1,000s, just getting everything secondhand. I got this coffee table for $23. I love it. Once you kind of furnish the area, then we could upgrade one piece at a time for something that maybe we fell in love with. But right off the bat, I love just being able to furnish this whole place for just a few $1,000s. That was huge. You want to show them the fireplace? Yeah. Okay, so when we did this build out, Philip said, I am not doing this build out unless I can do a fireplace. And so this was one of the main focal points of this space, of this room. So we ended up doing a wood burning fireplace. We could add gas if we choose, but for now it is a wood burning fireplace. We have a lot of wood that we have stacked up that Philip can bring in through the winter, and we're able to heat this space with a cozy fire. And we are just going to be getting a nice safety guard around it because you are a little mischievous and like to climb, huh?
Mama.
Yeah, thank you. And then as she's bringing me the remotes, the TV, we did end up mounting. Philip worked so hard to mount a TV into brick. That was not easy. And he has another difficult project to do is getting this mantle mounted up here. If you also guys have any recommendations, I was seeing some mounts that have posts that you stick into the piece of wood and that slides onto the brick. I think that's the route we're going to be going. But this nice wood piece was from our contractor that we will be putting up here as our mantle. We actually really lucked out, and I just want to make a note just for my memory 30 years from now as I look back on our little tour. This brick, we decided we're gonna paint it white so we can do the cheapest brick possible, and he told us they actually ended up dropping off the wrong brick, and when he called them and let them know, they said just keep it, we're not gonna switch it out, and it was the same price. So we ended up getting this nicer brick that was 50 cents a piece versus the brick that we ordered that was 25 cents a piece, and our contractor said that would have been like a fire engine red and you would not have been super excited about it. When they were putting this in, I told them, I changed my mind, I don't want you to paint it, I actually really love it, and it adds some more depth and character than everything just being white. We were gonna have to do a lot of decorations making everything white, but this, it adds in so much more warmth. Oh, and speaking of warmth, hi. So this nice texture of the brick I absolutely love, plus the wood mantle moving down to the floor. The flooring was actually a really big headache of this project that made it go a little bit longer, and we ended up a lot of it longer. We were trying to match it with our old floor. We ended up deciding just going with flooring that we love, and maybe down the road we would possibly switch our flooring, which I actually really, really love. We just couldn't match it. This is real hardwood floor. To buy the floor, not including the staining, but the floor was the same price as the laminate and the vinyl we were looking at, so we ended up going with the hardwood floor. And the mix of stain on this, I know Pinterest steered me wrong. I'm just warning you, there's a couple of pins on Pinterest looking for white oak hardwood floor, and it steered me wrong and kind of gave a little bit of a headache, so I'm just letting you know. So we ended up actually using Duraseal. That was what our flooring guy really loved, and so that was the brand that we used, and we ended up using a 9-to-1 ratio of the natural or the neutral with the country white. It cut the richness of that natural stain a little bit and just muted it just a little bit, and I really do love it. I'm really happy with how the floors turned out. Okay, let's work our way down to downstairs, and as I do, I will walk past our railing. This is some old barnwood, and they just built this railing to go around the staircase. And, okay, do you want to show them? Okay, we found this baby. Yep. Oh, hi. Hi. Okay, so moving from upstairs, we are going to walk through the baby gate. Downstairs, right now we have some steps that our contractor put in, and we are probably going to have to paint them. We're not sure. So as of right now, these are our stairs down to our basement. And so down here, they dug out a couple of feet to add a full basement for us. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. We wanted a space that was a storm shelter for us. We have the base of the house on this side. We have a complete dirt wall on that side. And so it is completely covered underground in this corner. And then we've got cinder blocks coming on the other side. And we will deck this out eventually to be our storm shelter as we're going to be heading into storm season. Pull out some benches, we'll have some helmets in here, we'll have all the things, And then we'll be putting in some like netting or something that we could kind of hook up and cover and keep all the jars. It'll be kind of closed off from the cans and the jars when we're sitting in here during a storm. And this is also obviously our food pantry. So this is going to be our somewhat root cellar. It wouldn't be a true root cellar like if we would have just dug a hole in the ground here and everything would have been underground. That is more going to keep the root cellar temperature. But for us, this is still better than anything we have. It's out of our hot kitchen and it kind of keeps it cooler. And as we start developing more with our garden and need a better root cellar system, we're going to come up with some ideas, even some miniature root cellars that we might just stick in the hill right outside of the store. So we have a thermometer in here. Right now it's reading 64, which honestly, that's still great. Moving back out, we have some more storage out here. We are going to be moving all of my garden stuff out of the garage, and it is going to be housed here, and we have a home for it. And then when we were building down here, we ended up upping the budget just a little bit when we thought, okay, if someone's down here as either a guest staying in here when this becomes like a finished space, or when Philip has his office down here, to go up the stairs, across the sunroom, across the living room, down the hallway to the miniature bathroom that is like literally like this big, we thought it's probably a really good idea to at least plumb this for a bathroom. So right in here, we do have plumbing for a bathroom. So we can have a sink, a toilet, and a shower back in here. There's no rush for us to make this into a bathroom, but it will be the long-term goal is to finish that out. But we want to do that ourselves. We wanted to save the money, and Philip is very handy. If you guys don't know this about Philip already, he is very handy, and he thinks I hold him to this high standard, but I just think that he hung the moon, and I think he can do anything. He does the research, and he does it great, and so that will eventually be a bathroom designed by yours truly and Philip. And then the rest of this space is going to be an open space of an office and a eventual possible guest room, or just at least like a pull-out couch or something along those lines. The electricity down here doesn't quite work, so Philip actually finagled some temporary lighting. The outlet works, but the actual electricity on-off switches for the lights don't work down here. So we're still working on that. And we did end up adding a walkout. So instead of this just being dug into a hole, we did end up grading this out so that way you could go from the garden and come in here. I'll probably, when I do the bathroom, I'll do like a big utility sink and actually use this as more of like a utility bathroom. And then we can move right on out here to our outdoor space. And it's definitely a work in progress, but we have done a lot in a year. So this is our big, huge addition that you guys have been seeing us do over the last year. I am very thankful and excited that it is almost done. It is livable. We are so thankful. And hopefully now when we are in different spaces, you can kind of comprehend where you are at in the house. And when we are in the addition, we're just on the back side of our house looking out at our property. Thank you guys so much for watching our big addition tour, and I will see you guys in our next video. Go let your love multiply. Bye guys.